city like Kamloops is pretty sweet. By living in this city, we have great amenities and many things to do around town. One example larger people in first world countries take advantage is nice drinking water. If you live within the city limits of Kamloops, you have an endless supply of it. Cleanest in the country. No, cleanest in North America. One of the many things that I love is water. If you know me, I'm always carrying around a water bottle. Always drinking it, and if I'm not, I'm making consistent stops to the water fountain. I'm also making consistent stops somewhere else, but I'm not going to tell you where. So last May, I moved out to Pritchard. And for those of you who don't know, Pritchard, right here, it's 30 kilometers east of Chase and 10 kilometers west of, 30 kilometers east of Kamloops and 10 kilometers west of Chase. Now, I loved it out there. So nice, very sweet. I had 12 acres of property, 5,000 square foot house. It was massive. So nice. So when we moved out there, I actually went there in April more like, because we had pretty much done all the papers. We just weren't going to move till May. So when I went out there in April, the first thing I wanted to do was wash my hands, because we were going to have dinner out there. First night, dinner out there, have a good dinner. And to my surprise, the water didn't turn on. I was shocked. Not a drop of water came out. So I went to my dad, very, very confused. And he said, the pump's not on yet. I was like, what? Like, I was used to the city water where it comes out of the tap no matter what, even if your power's off, the water is on. So then it struck me. We were on a well. We were so far out in God knows where that we had a well. So he also informed me that we had to go out to the well to make sure there was enough water that we would get through the summer and we wouldn't have to fill up another tank to hold water. So we went out there. I see this little green house with a nice wood frame. So we lift it off, it's pretty heavy. There's some stuff in between just so that we get there, so nothing goes in. So to our surprise, there's lots of water. It being May, snow just melted, filled up. So when I look inside after, because the guy had put electricity out there for the pump, but he'd also put electricity out there for a light, so you could actually see really nicely what was in there, where the water was. So when I looked inside, I saw a duck. Now not a duck like this, a dead duck, floating around in our water, nicely, this is the water I was supposed to drink. I was not going to drink it. That was disgusting. It made me sick. I told my dad no. But, to top it all off, there was 2 mice in there too, swimming around with it. They were like the 3 amigos. It was gross. I could not handle it. So I told my dad that this was not allowed. I could not be drinking water that had this stuff in it. He later phoned the water filtration people, and yeah, got it all done. But our water is hard water. Most areas up by silt cliffs are, because they have a high level of calcium in them, which makes the water hard. So we had to get a water softener. Now the way to take out calcium from water is salt. Large amounts of salt. And it's not like sea salt or any of that kind of stuff. It's hardcore rock salt. The pellets are probably like that big. So our water ended up being now as salty as the ocean. So we actually have to bring in water from Kamloops so we can drink it, because it is disgusting. So you may be wondering why water is so important. Water is involved in 2 of life's main processes, photosynthesis and cellular respiration. In school we learn of the water cycle. The water is evaporated from the ocean, goes up into the clouds, clouds rain down on mountains or soil or rivers or lakes, which then all the water makes it back into the lakes or the rivers, which then flows into the ocean, and so the cycle continues. About 70% of the earth is covered in water. 96% of this is non-drinking water. It's the salt water found in your oceans and seas. That's only 4% of fresh water. 68.9% of this fresh water exists as either permanent snow or glaciers. So that leaves you with about 32% of fresh water that's accessible. Now, lots of people, especially living in Kamloops, like to keep their gardens nice and green. They overuse this water completely. That's not good, because there's very, very little water to go around. 30.8% of this water that we find is groundwater, swamp water, that kind of stuff. So not lakes, rivers, just found in the ground. That's where my well in Pritchard actually gets its water. So we need to learn not to use so much water. So cut back on watering your lawn. It's okay if it doesn't have to be that very dark green. It can be a nice lighter green, as long as you keep it away from yellow. But make sure you're always drinking enough water so your body stays healthy. Thank you.